Hello, Recruit7, welcome back to Combat Mission Black Sea and this head-to-head game against Chap. And this is going to be turn 6. I think likely sources of action will be obviously what happens with this advancing Bradley on this flank here. And that might be it. It's been a very cagey affair so far. You keep mentioning it at the start of every turn, so it's not preamble, let's just play the turn and see what we get. We are starting to advance a little bit, and we've got some more sight lines there. Another casualty, my guy's getting spotted in the woods. Disappointing, but okay. Oh, someone spotted it. Just as we're moving our Jav, actually, that's irritating. Oh, we've lost a Bradley. First vehicular blood goes to him. And then goes a bit quiet. Okay. I'm really annoyed that this happened as we were moving that Jav team. I suppose it's the way of it. Who actually gets the spot? Well, it's you of all people. Okay. I'm assuming you don't do anything with it. When you've lost it again. That's disappointing, you lose that. So was it moving? Or was it just disturbing smoke and trees and things? It's actually coming forward. Okay. Right, and let's see this disastrous time for ourselves. So I think it's just a Javelin comes in. Indeed it is. Can we see where from? I suspect there might be a team lurking in this backwoods area. Just over here. I mean, it might be that Jav team there, but we've just got sight through the trees. But I'd be impressed if it made it all the way through. Okay. And it looks like they've potentially got some artillery coming in here, which might be timed, might be UAV led, who knows. But we're not advancing too far in this, it's not too bad, but disappointing. Okay, now we did know there was a couple of guys here. I don't know if we see what happens to them. We're obviously spraying this area with 7.62 from over here. Looks like they're starting to pull back. Just as we start opening fire, actually. Okay. Although it does look like our little pop-up here gets in the action. This is interesting. Who are... Oh no, because I give you a target command. Okay, that's fine. I was going to say, who or what have you seen to fire at? You're just dusting up the place, but it looks like they've pulled back at this point. Okay. And then you pull away. Okay, I'm pleased with that outcome. Obviously not very pleased with this. And then these guys just get spotted and shot at by the Bradley, I believe. Yeah, and they just lose a team. I lose a member, sorry. Just a flesh wound actually. Surprising against the Bradley's fire. I thought it would do more damage. He's again doing his pop-up attacks. Now we do have our own artillery should be coming in. I think it might be wild. I think we get a splash somewhere in here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just there. So it needs to be adjusted, which is not ideal. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So I find ourselves in a bit of a little bit of a tricky situation. We're not getting the kind of... not getting decisive advantage on anything at the minute. We're losing the kind of... the pop-up duel, as it were. I need to think about how we're going to counteract that. We have a lot of forces in here which aren't really doing very much, which I want to do more with. We do have this Jav team here, which is hiding. Presumably, there is a Bradley still lurking just over the ridge here. Although it's such short range, I'm not sure he'd get the opportunity to actually launch it. Obviously, we are covering the angle, but he's probably well aware of that, which is why he hasn't popped forward any further. And also, we need to watch what we're advancing because they have infantry coming through these trees. Interesting. We need to think about how we can bring our units to bear without exposing too much. Now, we'd also get a spot back in the back in these woods of a team here moving forwards, which has to keep an eye on that. Potentially lose some kind of area fire or things. We'll go forward. Right, so things we all want to do, let's be a little bit safe. So I would like to get you up and into this level 2. I think you can maybe launch some grenades into the woods when their infantry appears. I do need to be a little bit careful with my vehicles. I'd love to be able to kind of do something of a flanking nature to get some better eyes upon that Bradley, which is probably pulling back. Not sure if there are sight lines from all the way back here. He's running just along this little kind of rough terrain, which has got a bit of a dip, which I'm surprised is enough to cover a full Bradley's height, to be honest, from the teams over here. But inevitably it is. So we're getting a few spots, but not much. Right, I would like you to cancel your order, though. And in fact, we're going to bring you all the way back to here, and then maybe we are going to just have a hunt command forward to kind of this position, just to... maybe it's a little bit exposed, but I'm curious to see if you can see anything back. And I'll probably not leave you there for more than kind of 30 seconds, just to see what's going on. You guys, I'm just going to hold you where you are, I think. Because I think he's going to send some more artillery down this way. You are probably panicked, you are, so you're just going to sit there and maybe get shot. This machine gun team, I'm going to cancel their move. Target order, sorry. I don't think there's any value in that. You guys could potentially start spraying over here. I don't know if you've got any reasonable target arcs. Probably not in terms of these trees and things, but that might be a good use to bring you forward and start to spray that tree line a little bit. And you are just coming in, but then we can't really see anything. So in fact, you know, I might bring you guys forward to where this team currently is, 'cause I think it's quite a good spot. Albeit one that evidently can't see me a Bradley. I attempted to bring you all the way forward to here, actually. Okay, let's try this. So I'm a little concerned about what may happen from down that road, but I think we're going to have to start doing something. And potentially we could try and push teams across this gap. Have folks working through the woods here. Which might not be bad, and if I'm going to do anyone, I'd probably happily risk this machine gun team to begin with. Although I suspect these guys are going to get shot up doing this, but let's let's try and see if we can get over there and start put pressure in a few different places. You should now be pulling back, indeed you are. We can clear your target order. Fine and dandy. And you gents are moving forward. You gents are moving forward, this is fine. Now, I don't know if it's worth just starting to spray the trees of these places. We've got these kind of slightly known icons. One other thing it might be worth doing is for this mission. Actually, for you, you're busy calling the shots. It's whether we want to change up our long-term mission here. How many rounds we got left in the tube? Still 20 minutes. So I mean, they're just going to keep firing the whole time. Maybe not necessarily against. Okay, down here, this dude's been shot up. His toes have been knocked out. Still gets 25mm coaxial though. Let's bring you forward. And we will maybe try and do some work through these trees. But let's bring you in a position where you stop being shot for starters. There is obviously some infantry to worry about. And then we do have to think about how I'm going to deploy my MGS. And I'm maybe going to try and use you in conjunction. I wonder if there's any way we could get sightlines that far, but if we're going to do that, we'd probably want something perhaps with a toe. We could do is try and pull you back and just get you to kind of shimmy into this kind of position, see if you can get any long range sight. It's quite open. By the time we get there here, we'll probably have moved on. I'm feeling a little bit, let's go forward, let's not reverse that. Reactive at the minute is my biggest concern. Right, let's get you spinning over this way. I don't know if you can drive through this low hedge. I think you can. Really, we're going to try and get you somewhere like here. See what you can see. Okay. So part of me doesn't want to just start doing pop-up shots with my Bradleys because, you know, it kind of obviously gives away your position. At the same time, I feel like he probably knows where a bunch of the stuff is already. And so maybe I'm just not leaning upon their firepower this way, and in a manner that I really should be. The other thing I want to do is once we've dropped here is to reuse my UAV. I think it's been held in this static area for too long, and I'd have been better pulling it over here where I can get maybe a little bit more use out of it. I feel like we're kind of conceding this area of the map at the minute. We don't have a particularly solid plan to dig him out. What we really need to do is to break through one of his forces. So ideally these traps over here, and then we could put a turning movement on. Which is kind of what he's trying to do over here, actually. If he can break through our flank and put a turning movement on, and obviously coming at us from a different angle. Okay. So we've got 4 Bradleys at the minute who are kind of sitting in the middle, doing all sorts of not very much. I would prefer it if they were doing things. I need to have a pause and a think. Okay, I had some thoughts together. I need to be cognizant of what our objectives here is and not to try and kind of lose through trying to win too quickly and too early. Yeah, this inaction may be my ultimate doom, but I've got to think, well, what's our win criteria here? And essentially, if we hold the major VP and 1 or 2 or maybe even just one of these minor ones, I think that may well give us enough for a win, unless we get an absolute smash in their face, which for our forces. We've got to watch for losses, make sure we don't start bleeding too much. So I don't, like, as much as I want to maybe make an aggressive push somewhere to try and inflict some more damage upon Chap's forces, because I feel like I'm just bleeding men and material ever so slowly. I don't want to, so let's not throw the game away. I think if we can inflict some losses on this section of his forces, we've got enough firepower and cross kind of angles that we can essentially chew up this area quite handily and help clear out infantry if it's there. You know, as long as we're kind of secure from threats from the rear, and then we can sweep through whatever's left. You know, between the sniper and the machine gun team, we should be able to kind of area fire that quite effectively towards the end of the game if we think we've got it essentially secure and we're just sweeping. But it does rely on us being able to take out whatever forces he has over here. And I think that should maybe be what our focus is. And honestly, and maybe not get too worried about what he has back here beyond trying to keep an eye on it, because it's not really affecting me. If I try and risk taking things out and end up suffering losses, I think that's going to be more for our detriment. So I think the key is going to have to be to maybe try and hold these points. We'll do a little bit more dueling out in the flanks, and maybe try and concentrate on how we're going to take over here. Now, having lost one of our Bradleys over here, that makes life a bit more difficult, and we may have to think about, do I want to push some additional resources, which are kind of just chilling in the centre, to go out to secure that? And the answer is probably. But I think so maybe to think of what that's going to look like. Because if I was Chap, what I would do at some point, given that I'm clearly holding this VP, is just drop a whole bunch of artillery on it. So we need to be prepared for that, and I don't just want my forces sitting around here waiting to get smacked. So we shall see what comes. But for right now, I think we're gonna call it there. Only thing I did move, I got these guys to slowly move forward in one action square. We'll see what they find there. But otherwise, I'm really short on. It's my only javelin over here. None of these Bradleys have javelins in them that my teams can grab. So obviously we've got the toes on the Bradley itself, but I don't have any small javelin team I could dump into these woods, for example. Which is one of those hindsight things. If I knew he was going to be aggressive, then great, I could have left this Jav team here and maybe picked him off. However, if I'd done that and he just sat over here, it would have been, again, wasted. So I'm happy enough with this move. I don't think it was a low likelihood of success, but I'm glad we tried something. But anyway, I think we're going to call it there. I think we've turned off most of our area of fire. Yeah, we're just kind of adjusting this turn. So I suspect he's dumped a bunch of infantry potentially here. We'll see what we get back. And yeah, I want to probably change UAV to target over here as well, and take and probably maintain a bit of a defensive posture throughout these areas, and try and focus on maybe dealing with this part of his force. Anyway, that's my current thoughts. We'll see how well they transpire, and we'll see what happens in the next one. So I'll see you then.